In a silent world overrun by deadly creatures, the Abbott family struggles to survive in New York City. With every sound risking their lives, they navigate a perilous existence where silence is their only weapon. In our 9th movie recap, join us as we dive into the heart-pounding thriller, A Quiet Place, where survival means staying silent or facing certain death. The movie begins 89 days following a destructive alien invasion that decimates Earth and eradicates much of its population. These creatures lack sight but possess acute hearing, prompting them to track down any sound they detect. The Abbott family, comprising Lee and Evelyn, along with their children, Regan, Marcus, and Beau, venture into an abandoned town away from their residence in search of provisions. They maintain absolute silence and rely solely on sign language for communication. In their quest, Evelyn discovers medication for Marcus, who is unwell, while Beau stumbles upon a toy rocket he desires to play with. However, Lee removes the batteries, cautioning against the potential noise. Subsequently, Regan surreptitiously gives Beau the rocket, and he clandestinely takes the batteries. Returning home, the family opts for a dirt path to muffle the sound of their footsteps. Upon reaching a bridge, Beau inserts the batteries into the toy, inadvertently generating loud noises. Lee rushes towards Beau upon hearing one of the monsters advancing through the woods. However, before Lee can reach Beau, a spider-like creature pounces out and seizes him. More than a year later, the family persists in their strategy of maintaining utmost silence to survive. Evelyn is expecting their 4th child. Meanwhile, Lee endeavors to create a hearing aid for Regan, who is deaf, utilizing spare parts salvaged from radio equipment. Despite their efforts, this, like previous attempts, proves unsuccessful in enabling Regan to hear. While playing Monopoly, Marcus inadvertently topples a lantern, resulting in its shattering and igniting a small fire promptly extinguished by Lee. They anxiously await any signs of the monster's proximity, but their fears remain unrealized. Subsequently, Lee and Evelyn indulge in listening to music on a device, followed by a shared dance, finding solace in these fleeting moments of normalcy amidst their perilous existence. Lee decides to take Marcus fishing near the falls, despite Marcus's apprehension about being out in the open. Although Regan offers to join them, Lee insists she stay behind to assist her mother. It becomes evident that there is tension between Lee and Regan. As they reach the falls, Lee reassures Marcus that it's safe to converse there as the noise of the river drowns out any sounds they might make. This setting allows them to engage in a conversation for the first time in a while. Marcus confides in Lee, revealing that Regan holds herself responsible for Beau's fate and inquires if Lee shares the same sentiment, which Lee denies. Marcus then questions his father about his love for Regan, suggesting that Lee should express his affection to her. Regan departs from the house, heading towards the bridge where the family had established a memorial for Beau. There, she proceeds to sever the wires of the toy rocket, eliminating its sound while allowing its lights to remain illuminated. While making their way back home, Lee and Marcus encounter a man standing beside the mutilated body of a woman, presumably his wife. Despite Lee's efforts to dissuade him, the man resorts to screaming, intentionally attracting the attention of the monster. Lee and Marcus conceal themselves as the man meets his demise at the hands of the creature. Back at the family's farm, Evelyn's water breaks, prompting her to head to the basement for preparation, given its soundproof nature. However, she inadvertently steps on a nail on the staircase, causing her to emit a yelp of pain and accidentally drop a family picture, shattering it. The resulting noise attracts one of the monsters to the house. Using red lights, Evelyn signals to Lee, alerting him to the presence of the creature. As the creature prowls through the house, Lee instructs Marcus to set off fireworks to divert its attention. Meanwhile, Evelyn, now in intense pain from contractions and experiencing heavy bleeding, finally finds release in a scream. Lee rushes back to the house to discover that Evelyn has given birth to a boy. He swiftly carries them both to the basement, where he places an oxygen mask on the baby and positions him in a box to muffle any potential cries that could attract the monster. In a moment of vulnerability, Lee and Evelyn discuss their shared guilt over Beau's death, with Evelyn expressing regret that she didn't carry him the entire way. She implores Lee to promise to protect their children. Regan, who had been resting near the memorial, witnesses the fireworks and hurries back home. Meanwhile, Marcus dashes through a crop field upon hearing the approach of one of the monsters. His sprint ends abruptly when he collides with a tractor, rendering him unconscious. Fortunately, Regan locates him, and the two seek refuge atop a grain silo, attempting to signal Lee for assistance. However, their efforts are thwarted as the winds extinguish their fire. In a harrowing turn of events, Marcus plunges through the silo's roof, narrowly avoiding being crushed by a metal door. Regan leaps in after him, and they find themselves engulfed by grain, struggling to breathe. Suddenly, a monster descends into the silo, prompting the children to take cover beneath the door. In a stroke of fortune, Regan's hearing aid emits a powerful, high-pitched frequency that debilitates the monster, compelling it to retreat. In the house, the basement begins to flood, causing concern as one of the monsters is drawn to the sound of the rushing water. Quietly maneuvering through the rising water, Evelyn reaches the baby while being stalked by the creature. She then comes face to face with it, but is safe when noises from outside lure the creature away. Regan and Marcus leap out of the silo, rejoining Lee, but their reunion is shadowed by the lurking monster. Taking refuge in a truck, the children watch as Lee valiantly confronts the creature. In a desperate bid to protect his children, Lee engages the monster, but tragically, he is grievously injured when its claw strikes him. As Marcus cries out for his father, the monster hears and advances. Spotting his children, Lee communicates through sign language that he loves them both dearly and always has. With profound resolve, Lee deliberately attracts the monster's attention, sacrificing himself to save his family. Evelyn, observing the heartbreaking scene unfold through the security cameras, bears witness to Lee's ultimate act of courage and love. The children return to the house and rush into Evelyn's embrace, collectively grieving the loss of Lee. Seeking refuge in the basement, Evelyn positions Marcus protectively in a corner to safeguard the baby. Amidst their sorrow, Regan discovers Lee's experimental notes and equipment designed to combat the creatures. Suddenly, a monster breaches the basement, prompting Evelyn to arm herself with a shotgun. Realizing the potential of her hearing aid, Regan emits a powerful frequency that incapacitates the creature, causing it to convulse in agony. Seizing the opportunity, Evelyn swiftly dispatches the creature with a well-aimed blast, but the victory is short-lived as more monsters approach, as indicated by the surveillance cameras. Undeterred, with newfound resolve and knowledge of their ability to fight back, Regan amplifies the microphone volume, while Evelyn, wearing a determined smile, prepares to confront the impending threat with her shotgun. We post movie recaps every week. For more chilling thrills in the world of A Quiet Place, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.